Welcome to What's Up Pasadena. On this episode, we take a frightful tour through Heritage Square Museum for the spooky swap meet. We share some sunshine with four-legged friends at Waggle Walk. We ooh and ah over stunning vintage and contemporary Ferraris on Colorado Boulevard. We practice elegance and poise at the afternoon tea at the Langham Huntington. And we capture the joy of summertime fun at Kidspace Campout.
Spooky Swap Meet came about because we are all Halloween hoarders here, and the first year, like when COVID happened, nobody was doing anything, and we have all this Halloween stuff that are at our houses, and we're like, hey, we wish there was something called like a spooky swap meet or something like where we could sell all of our Halloween stuff. And Claire is amazing, so as soon as we had that conversation, she bought SpookySwapMeet.com, got the Instagram Spooky Swap Meet, and we had just gone to an event here at Heritage Square Museum, and it was such an amazing venue. And we're like, hey, we got to do it here. It all came together naturally like that. It was amazing.
Heritage Square is a Los Angeles museum, actually, and all of the Victorian manors that are here have been relocated from different parts of the city, and it's a preservation opportunity so that we can make sure that we still know what Los Angeles used to look like. And so we just started working with them, and it's been a match in heaven, actually. It's been wonderful with them. Spooky Swap Meet takes a lot of time to prepare. So it takes months. It takes several months to do. We usually start the year before. For example, I already have the dates for next year. Right. We have to do that kind of thing and get it in advance. It's months of preparation, and then also lots of preparation day of, day before, week of. I don't sleep this week, basically, is what it comes down to.
Claire knows a lot of these vendors from Midsummer Scream, another event that she does. So she already has kind of a relationship with a lot of them. But we really wanted a lot of focus on the swap meet style items. So anybody that was like, hey, I've been collecting stuff, I have vintage stuff, I have used stuff, that's a really big factor in who we decide that we want to keep coming. And then we like to give new vendors a new opportunity. And also, if we can fit a few more in one year, then we do that too. We want to give as many people an opportunity, but we really love the fact if people have lots of used items.
So Spooky Swap Meet is awesome. It's kind of an area, and we've attended this for many, many years. This is the first year we've had a booth here, but we've actually attended for a couple years now. And one of the things that makes this really interesting is you see a lot of the similar vendors that you'll run into at places like Midsummer Scream and things like that. But one of the benefits of this particular event is you can see some of the things that maybe you couldn't quite afford last year at something like Midsummer Scream are usually a little more affordable here because people are trying to clear out inventory before the really large events that happen in the summer and early fall.
The vendors all year long, they are collecting items and saving things instead of getting rid of it or giving it to Goodwill. They're like, no, we can sell this at Spooky Swap Meet. So all year long, these vendors are preparing for this event because it's the only event that gives them the opportunity to sell their slightly used or vintage items. So that's really amazing too.
When we originally started out, we were one day. Yeah. But the tickets sold out in 24 hours. And so I asked the vendors, anyone available to do 2 days? And everybody was down. So then those tickets sold out in 4 hours. We've sold out our tickets every year since.
There's so many events in this area that are creepy and spooky. So this is different because of the venue is incredible. So they're supporting a historically preserved piece of LA. So, the ticket portions go towards that. So you're supporting something awesome. You get one-of-a-kind items from people that are just selling used Halloween stuff or vintage things. You get all your regular vendors that some of them do really specific things for this event so that they're only offered at this event. So that's amazing. And they get to go trick-or-treating at all the houses that are decorated by local haunters and stuff like that. So, it's just all those things set it apart from other events because there's a lot of them.
We're actually kind of involved in the haunt community and as a whole here in kind of the Southern California area. So it's kind of a very, as you get through it, everybody knows each other and everything like that. And it's really cool. It's a really cool community to see between Spooky Swap Meets and kind of the haunters and everything like that that's around.
I think it's a really awesome way to kick off the Halloween season. I know my other event, we say we do it, but this is halfway to Halloween. So this is it. And it's also an incredible community. The Halloween community is a really incredible community. So I just hope everybody comes away having had a wonderful time, being able to see friends they haven't connected with in a little while, and that they enjoy themselves and find treasures at steeply discounted prices. Because that's the other thing, is not only is it, it's secondhand spooky, but vendors that are selling new items are discounting their items for this show only. So people can get discounts here that they can't get elsewhere. And so it's pretty amazing. I still pinch myself.
Happy Halloween!
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we are at Brookside Park at the Rose Bowl for the 26th annual Wiggle Waggle Walk and Run, supporting Pasadena Humane. Wiggle Waggle Walk is our biggest fundraiser of the year. People bring their dogs, have a great walk around the Rose Bowl, spend some time hanging out with us afterwards. We have demonstrations, we have a doggy costume contest, and the great news is all of the money raised immediately helps the animals in our community. We have a 3-mile walk around the whole Rose Bowl loop. There's actually a 5K fun run. And then there's also a 1-mile loop for, older dogs or short-legged dogs or people who just want to get back here to the event as quickly as possible, which I totally understand. So as of the other day, we had nearly 1,000 online registered participants. There's always a ton day of who are waiting to make sure we have this beautiful weather. So we'll have probably over 1,000 just by looking around, hundreds and hundreds of dogs. We have so many great vendors, all animal related, of course. We have things for sale, just tons of information booths about the programs and services that we provide at the shelter. We've been in the community for 120 odd years now, and really being a resource for anything animal related. So if you find an injured bird, if you find a stray dog, if you need vaccines for your cat, we're there to support the people in our community. And so many shelters are just like us. They're small, they are doing a very specific service for the community, and they all need our support. And so even if you don't live in our area and you're seeing this, go to your local shelter, support them, because what they're doing is helping the animals in our world, in our community. We have so many programs that are funded through this and all of our other fundraising events. Some of my favorites are our Helping Paws program, which helps people who have pets to keep them in their homes. So providing pet food, vet expenses, shots, spay, neuter, all that good stuff. Our kids programs, so if you have kids who want something to do after school related to animals, hit us up. So many other things, our wildlife, our foster care program, all these things that help us to help animals in our community. And it's made possible because of generous donors like you all. Our fundraising goal is $250,000, and we have already exceeded that. We exceeded a couple days ago, so it's super exciting. So everything else is icing on the cake, and it really just helps the animals in our care and in our community. Over the years, it's kind of grown and grown. This is actually our 20th year of doing it here at the Rose Bowl. Just like a fun thing that keeps getting better and better and bigger and bigger. And, I think we'll probably have a record fundraising goal this year, but also I think a number of participants. It's early yet. There's still so many people signing up. It's a way for our community to kind of come together and, show the support for the shelter, of course, but also just say hi and see all these amazing dogs. Dogs, cats, any companion animals, they bring so much to our lives, right? That love, that bond. For me, the reason to get up and go for a walk in the morning and, chance to meet our neighbors, right? Especially coming out of what we've been through in the last few years where we're all so isolated. Now, having a dog was really, for me, such a way to get out in my world and make sure that people were still okay. I think I know more of the dogs in my neighborhood than their people, which I think is common, it's something for all of us that we connect with and we bond with, but obviously brings so much joy and love to our lives.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
We're in Pasadena, California on Colorado Boulevard, and this is the first time we've been back here as a Ferrari Club of America to do this concours. It's our 30th year, and we're so excited to be back here in Pasadena.
We have 100 Ferraris spanning 70 years on the street, and it's one of the largest Ferrari shows in the country, and maybe the largest that's actually open to the public and a free event for the public. Ferraris are aspirational, and it's something to set a goal. It's not just a car for basic transportation. It's a dream come true, something that we strive for. We set goals. We're very fortunate to have a Ferrari.
Nobody builds a car like Ferrari. Nobody. The Italians just have a way. They have a flair about everything. Enzo Ferrari was a singularly driven man. He only built these cars to fund his Formula One racing. That's all he built them for, because he needed money. He did not have a big company. Enzo died nearly 30 years ago, but his legacy still lives on, and Ferrari still builds some of the most beautiful cars that we've ever seen.
Most modern Ferraris have the shields on the side of the car as a tribute to the logo. It's called the Scuderia. It's a horse. He did it as a tribute to someone in the military at the time, and that became the logo for Ferrari. Ferrari has been in Formula One since Formula One began. Ferrari won the 24 Hours of Le Mans last year. But racing is a big part of Ferrari.
They're famous for red only because red is the Italian national racing color. When you look at Formula One cars, for people that don't know, Mercedes, German cars are silver. Italian cars are red. French cars are blue. American cars are white. But if it's a factory Ferrari race car, it's red. Wasn't until the 246 Dino and the 206 Dino race cars came in the mid-60s where Ferrari started putting engines in the back. But in the early days, in the inception of Ferrari back in the late 40s and the 50s, the cars were front-engine V12 cars predominantly.
My last name's Ferrari. I found out when I was about 8 that all the little boys loved hearing about my last name and about the cars, so I started getting interested then. It took a while for me to get to the point where I decided I was going to save for one, but then I started saving for one, finally bought one, spent 30 years saving. Once I bought one, it was just all over, like so much fun being involved. But that's my history with Ferrari. Now I'm very involved in the judging part of it, so I'm out here today. I came from Oregon to be a judge here.
The cars aren't judged against each other. The cars are judged just on their own, and each car starts with 100 points. And if a car is absolutely original in every way, it gets 100 points. Anything that's not original causes a deduction, so maybe 1 point here, 1 point there. If a car is 97 points or higher, it gets a platinum award. If a car is 95 points, it gets a gold trophy, and 93 points, it gets a silver.
We have cars out here that vary from fairly new to years and years old, and just fantastic specimens of Ferraris.
I'm showing a 1972 Ferrari 365 GTB4, nicknamed the Daytona. It finished 1, 2, 3 at Daytona. Back in the day, in the 70s, these cars were roughly 175, 180 mile an hour car.
It has to be totally original. In fact, they make sure the lights work, the radio works. Is it an original radio? Is the owner's manual there? Are the floor mats original? Anything that isn't the way the car was left the factory will result in a deduction. So if it has a little rock chip in the front, that's not a deduction. That's just evidence that the car has been driven. The scoring is totally on originality.
To get them to this level is like trying to make a horse a thoroughbred racehorse. Once you get them there, you want to try to keep them at the best level you possibly can. There are some cars here that are multi-million-dollar cars, and there's other cars here that are, you know, $100,000 or $200,000 car. That isn't really about the money. It's about how it feels and how it fits and how it speaks to you. And, you know, Ferraris are good at capturing feelings. The cars evoke passion, and I think that's what relates to people a lot. It's just the passion about what a Ferrari represents.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
The Langham London has been offering afternoon tea since 1865, and it continues to be a tradition and signature of the hotel worldwide. Pasadena is a city with rich history and a lot of charm, so it makes sense that the Langham would want to continue their tradition of afternoon tea here. Afternoon tea service was designed for the upper class to bridge the gap between lunch and dinner. The Duchess of Bedford, in the middle of the afternoon, felt a little bit tired, so she decided to have some bread and butter with tea. And she loved the meal so much that she started inviting her friends over for afternoon tea, and it soon expanded to scones, sandwiches, and pastries, and she loved it so much that she wanted it to be available to everyone. Afternoon tea is served in a formal setting, usually at a hotel or a tea room, and it consists of scones, clotted cream, jam, pastries, and sandwiches. We have a wide variety of teas here at the Langham, from white tea, black tea, green tea, and herbal tea. We try to switch them up every season with our menu, so our new menu launches June 20th for summer. We're really excited about that. We're also going to be introducing wellness iced lattes to the menu, as well as mocktails made with wellness teas. Every season, our menu does change. We change our flavor of our scones, and we change our sandwiches. For our sandwiches, we stick to the classics like cucumber, prosciutto, salmon, chicken, and egg, but the ingredients and the way that we prepare them changes every season, so it's really a unique flavor each time. The desserts also change every season. The desserts change completely, so it's brand new. Our vegan menu is also gluten-free. It's absolutely delicious. We have a very, very talented team of pastry chefs, and I actually prefer the vegan desserts. They're my favorite. Since I've been here, we decided to create special events for tea, so almost every month we have a special event. Our next event is Pink Princess Tea, where we're partnering with the Pasadena Civic Ballet Academy. Every guest receives a crown, and there's a 20-minute ballet performance. Afternoon tea is for everyone. We do have special events like bridal showers, baby showers, engagement parties. It's a place to celebrate everything, as well as a space for friends, families, and colleagues to come together in a relaxing environment with live music and a gorgeous view. You can enjoy afternoon tea and explore the history of the hotel. Pasadena has a lot of rich history, and the Langham Pasadena remains an anchor of the city. It's a beautiful community with a lot of families here, and afternoon tea is the perfect way to experience the Langham.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck.
but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
Summer is a season for family fun, and Kidspace Campout is all the best parts of summer that you can pack into one day. For most California kids, vacation often starts with a road trip, and we're no different. We have a Golden Gate Bridge on our tricycle tracks and some tunnels to go through, and you might find yourself ending up at a blue sand lake to do some fishing, or you might go splashing in our Arroyo stream. And up a little further is a fanciful campground where you could pretend to grill the fish and sleep out under the stars. You won't want to forget to stop by Muddy Boot Farm for some roadside vegetable harvesting and some really fun restaurant play. Littler kids can use the smaller vehicles over at Kirby's Corner, where they can pretend to charge their electric vehicles and even go through the Little Bear car wash. If you've ever been to camp, you know that part of the fun is doing camp crafts. And so we make sure that we have new camp crafts going on all the time, from friendship bracelets to sun prints to bandana art. Lots of things to do that sort of create that feeling of being campy and creative. And the centerpiece of our Kidspace Campout experience is campfire sing-alongs, where everybody gathers together to sing and dance, play drums, and really just got a boost of serotonin from being outside and singing together. My favorite part of Campout is also the thing that started it all, which was this dream of everybody coming out of COVID and being able to sit together and sing. And when we first launched Campout, that was the vision, that was the organizing idea. How do we come together as a community? How do we celebrate joy? How do we share together, regardless of our ages, regardless of what our life has been like? How are we creating joy together as a community? And that was the core idea of the Campfire Sing. And from the Campfire Sing, we just started thinking, what else is great about summer? What else is great about family and together time? It's easy to undervalue how powerful play is in people's lives. As adults, we never outgrow the need for play, but for children, it's critical to developing healthy brains and bodies and strong social attachments. It's also a way that children develop those competencies that help them thrive in school and beyond. So we pour all sorts of love and care and thoughtfulness into creating experiences for children that offer them many different ways to play according to their own interests and abilities. Nature-based play is so important for children, and it engages them socially, emotionally, and intellectually with the world, and also with their own abilities to care about and contribute to the well-being of wildlife. When we're designing for children, we start with a respect for the way that children navigate and understand the world. And that means that they're paying attention to the little things. They're paying attention to the bugs and butterflies and the dogs that walk down their street. So I'm particularly proud of the butterfly kaleidoscope that we have in the Nature Exchange, because it really represents our understanding of children's ability to create art, to be gentle, and to care about wild things, even as small as an insect. The butterfly kaleidoscope was created with an artist who uses downstream consumer materials to create art. If you look at all those recycled materials and repurposed materials, including the bicycle gear that runs the whole thing, you begin to understand that the choices that humans make about consumerism, about waste materials, actually have a strong impact on wild places and wild creatures. And the monarch butterfly is the perfect ambassador animal to tell that story, because human behavior really affected monarch populations, almost eliminated the monarch butterfly. But then when we started taking care of the earth and planting more milkweed, the monarch population rebounded. So this is a small way for us to say we can make choices that are good for animals. We also made sure that some of the butterflies are hanging at a level where children can touch them. And you might think, well, that's just a recipe for disaster. But it's very important that we communicate to children that they are trustworthy, that they can be gentle and kind as children navigate campus and look for bugs and explore ideas about how animals live in the world at our little Arroyo Pequeño stream and throughout our campus. We have an ongoing partnership with Pasadena Humane Society as a release site for the rehabilitated orphaned baby possums and squirrels. And sometimes children can spot little possums or baby squirrels as those creatures are learning to navigate urban wilderness. Whenever we're launching a new seasonal program like Kidspace Campout or in the Winter Frolic, we always have hopes and dreams about how it will be experienced, but it's not until you open the doors and you walk outside and see families playing together in all sorts of affectionate, joyful ways that you really think, wow, this is what we hope for, and maybe a little bit more. At Kidspace, we say joy is the start of everything because it's how we make connections to ideas and each other, how we're brave enough to try new things, how we form strong attachments and friendships. And it's not just for the children, it's for the adults too. When you make time to prioritize joy and being together, that changes how we feel about ourselves and each other.